Hola and welcome to a new episode of the Roofless Dog and Pony Show. My name is Julio Panisello. I am the dream alchemist at Roofless Painters, a free-range art school and gallery for creative nomads. In each episode, we feature the theme of our next painting collection, so you can learn what we will be painting and why. We discuss the origin of the concept's theme and its contemporary context, and we explore different possibilities for visual representation on our work. Using paintings throughout art history, we talk about the stylistic and the historical references in order to inspire us in this next painting collection. In many ways, our episodes are like our paintings, messy, unpredictable, and unvarnished. All episodes can be found as video on Instagram and on our YouTube channel, and also as podcast on any podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, even Amazon Music. So now you can listen while you walk, while you drive, if you want to tune out from the world, or if you want to fall asleep. You just type the Roofless Dog and Pony Show on any podcast platform and you'll see all our episodes. And finally, you're invited to contact us with any questions or comments about this episode and to contribute your notes to this presentation. And we're going to go ahead after this introduction and present the first slide. We are going to focus on a piece of furniture this week. We have been focused on figure for the past 3 painting collections. And the last one was the one featuring the bathers. So it was a very interesting journey from the anti-portrait to the paintings of the ears, and also finally from last week, the bathers. So we're gonna just switch subjects anchored on figure for just a little bit, and we'll focus our attention on a piece of furniture. And why is that? Just because since it's Pride Month, we are starting a series of paintings and artists who are queer and preceded us, and we thought it would be a good idea to just show examples of people, creative unicorns before us, who either were ignored by our art history because of their queerness, or because or completely just left that out of the equation. But the first one that we featured was a painter from an American painter, actually, Ethel Sands. Ethel Sands was an American-born painter that grew up and lived in between the UK and France. So we just featured a painting recently of a living room with 2 figures sitting on a sofa chair. So the painting is exquisite and beautiful. At the time, female painters were not regarded as innovators, and for sexist reasons. But when we see her work today, we feel like it's extremely revolutionary. So that painting is incredible. But the reason why we are going to use Ethel Sands as an inspiration for the next painting collection is because we have seen her work before, and specifically we have used one of her paintings as an inspiration for another collection of paintings we did years ago. And what we're going to do right now, we're just going to show you the actual painting. It doesn't fit the screen. It just goes a little bit bigger than the screen. But this is a painting by Ethel Sands, and the painting, it's titled The Chin's Couch. Was painted in 1911, and we fell in love with this painting because of the color pattern, and also the composition, that little bit of light that you see on the wall and also on the couch itself. It's a little bit of the outdoor lighting that goes through a window. There is a vase with lilies on the side. Oh yeah, you can see right here one of the lilies. It's showing on the screen, so at least there is there is a little bit more of the painting. So if you tell us that this painting is not revolutionary, we will not believe you. We fell in love with this art, with this painting, and also with her work. Ethel Sands, 1873 to 1962. Ethel Sands went to art school and then met her partner, and I forgot her name, but they were together throughout their entire life. And let me see if I can just find, yeah, her partner's name was Anna Hope Hudson, also called Nan. Anyhow, so this is the origin of this painting collection. We are going to paint our own couches. We thought it would be a good idea to sort of like shift from the figure and then just focus on a piece of furniture that it's so personal, it's so important, it represents so many things, that we thought it would be important to sort of like conceptually paint something with so much value. Our couches, something we haven't done before. We've done paintings of couches before. We've done a couple of collections. One of them was about people reclining on couches, and the other one was precisely about a Chin's couch. But I think this time it's going to be something different. We're not going to feature any figures. We're just going to focus on the actual couch. We're just going to either take pictures of the couch and do it from the pictures or of a photograph, or we are just going to set up our easels in front of the couch. So we'll see. But let me just give you a couple. Yeah, I'm just going to show some paintings. Oh, by the way, if you just like type on any search, any art-related search, if you type the word couch or the word sofa, you'll just get a bunch of paintings of naked ladies. So we're just gonna show you one, maybe two, but just to sort of like get over it. But there are like just literally hundreds. So the couch has been used in the past by male artists mostly in order to give an excuse to paint naked ladies. So because we just wanna change the narrative a little bit, we're just going to show you a couple. This is Modigliani. This painting, I think it was recently sold in an auction for millions of dollars. It's titled Nude on Sofa. It was painted in 1916 in Paris. And yeah, this is a Modigliani painting. And what the examples that we found, or the slides that we curated, some of them have figures on the sofa. We found some contemporary artists that used this subject as the main subject of the paintings, and we're going to show you that. But the figures or the paintings that we are presenting that have figure on them, we want you to imagine the same painting but without the figure, because that's going to be an example, a stylistic example, and also compositional example of painting a couch. So imagine this amazing Modigliani painting without the naked lady, and try to find or imagine what kind of composition and where is the couch located, where is the negative space. Is the artist interested in showing the background the floor, the architectural context where the couch is placed, or is it more about the actual piece of furniture and then the figure on it, obviously? So imagine these paintings without a couch in order to give us inspiration or provide inspiration for our next collection of paintings, which will be painting couches. So we are just gonna give another. I think that's the only naked lady painting, but this is an absolutely exquisite, magnificent, never seen before painting. At least we've never seen this one before, but it's titled "Artist's Wife on a Sofa," and the artist is Ian James Bruce Short. We don't have the date of this painting. Again, imagine this painting without the figure, and that would be another example of how to paint our couch. And the reason why we love this painting so much is because not only the color palette, the grays and the mauves and the violets, obviously, and also the gaze of the figure sitting on the couch. But it's because of the way it's painted, the brush strokes, the unevenness of the piece of furniture, the fact that it's not symmetric, the fact that it's the perspective is just not realistic. Well, it is realistic, but it just has like a different kind of perspective. Also, the size of this couch in relationship with the figure, it's just very interesting. It's so tall, and the figure looks so small on it. But we're not going to do figures on the couches. We're just going to do the piece of furniture. And we wanted to bring an image that would be inspirational in the sense that we don't have to create extremely realistic couches that have very well done proportions with the most accurate perspective. If you can imagine this painting without the figure, it'll give you an example of the subject for this new painting collection. And by the way, before I move to the next slide, I just wanted to say that couches are considered the ultimate symbol of comfort. We also found out that June 6th is sleep all day on a couch, or sleep on a couch all day. Let me just find out exactly what's the name. Yeah, June 6th, next week, actually, on Sunday, it's going to be sleep on the couch all day. So we thought that would be a good conceptual connection of painting couches this week in anticipation for sleep on the couch all day. I don't know if that's a good day or not a good day, because couches could also trigger some traumatic experiences as well. But anyhow, we're deciding to go on the light side, and also some people believe that couches are much more important pieces of furniture than beds. Couches represent a refuge. They represent the idea of home more than any other piece of furniture. It is our central interior base for hominess and togetherness. Also conceptually or from a theme point of view, I guess. Imagine all the TV shows and movies that are centered around couches. Just like Friends, for example. Although that possibly is not a very well. Yeah, it's a good example of couches becoming important concepts and visual anchors for plots and narratives in TV series and movies. The Simpsons, also another one. A couch is a totem for hominess again. Anyhow, we're trying to find we're trying to stitch together reasons why this is not just a simple piece of furniture, but something that it's really valuable. At the same time, the title of this collection will be On the Couch, which is a phrase or an idiom that also represents the fact that couches are places in which we enact confession episodes. We talk about really private things. We exchange, or rather than exchange, we confess. We confess things. So let me just bring another image, but that would be one of the reasons. This is Francis Bacon, and this is this painting. It's titled "Portrait of Lucian Freud on Orange Couch," and it was painted in 1965. You cannot see the entire painting, but it's a very it's an open space. Well, rather, it's a room without any furniture, and the only thing that you see is the actual orange couch, which it's painted in a very interesting way, and then the portrait of Lucian Freud. Again, imagine this painting without the figure and look at the couch. It's not even fully painted. The areas where the actual floor of the room it's see-through, so you can see the floor of the room. There's this amazing and incredible cast shadow underneath the couch, which almost makes it look like the couch is outdoors. So there's a little bit of a dissonance or disconnect between the strong cast shadow under the couch and then the light in this symbolic room. It doesn't feel even like a real room, and there's no corner, even though the floor goes this way or goes sort of like close to a horizontal way, and you don't see it on this slide, but on the other side of the painting, the floor comes down with a much more descent or angled line. There is no corner on the background. It's sort of like a really empty negative space. Stylistically and also compositionally, this could be a good example as well of how to approach painting our own couches. This is without furniture, and we're just going to show you other examples throughout art history. Well, we just couldn't go forward with this slide presentation without another Beth Morisseau, the French impressionist painter that we love so much. She, in fact, also painted a lot of couches, a lot of people on couches. So this painting is titled "Two Sisters on a Couch" by Beth Morisseau, and it's dated 1869, full impressionist painting. And so it's just very interesting the way the couch, the piece of furniture, anchors the scene. Again, just try to imagine this painting without the figures, because that's going to be what we're going to do this week. We're going to paint our own couches. In a way, it's just going to be sort of like a self-portrait without any figures in the scene. But what is more personal than our own couch in a way? So imagine this incredible Beth Morisseau painting without the figures, and look at the chintz couch in the back. The point of view of the painter, of Beth Morisseau, it's very interesting as well, and also very revolutionary, because she seems to be at the same eye level as these two figures. So it's a very interesting point of view. It makes you feel like the painter, or it's sort of like invites you to be part of this conversation or this together time, I guess, which is really clever. But compositionally, the couch occupies the bottom part of the painting. We don't see any floor. We don't see any legs. It's not a corner. There's nothing that indicates that there's a perspective on this space, which is very interesting, except for the beautiful cast shadow from the plant on the wall. And but compositionally also, this is a very interesting way of approaching painting our own couches. Maybe just like sitting or taking a photo in front of it and not incorporating any of the bottom elements, to keep it simple and focusing on the actual form of the couch. If the couch has like patterns, also focus on the actual pattern of the couch. But not only we love Beth Morisseau, we love this painting so much, but we think this is a perfect or a very good example of a different composition in a painting using a sofa, a couch, as its main subject. So we're just going to continue with a couple more. I think that's it for older. I think that's it. Yeah, well, no, we have this, another incredible example by a painter, a British painter that we love so much, Anne Redpath. If you haven't checked her work, we encourage you to check out her work. Anne Redpath, 1895, 1965. She's well known, or she's famous for her still lifes. This painting is titled The Yellow Sofa. We don't have a date. This is the absolute opposite composition from Beth Morisseau, the painting, the previous painting. Because in this composition, it seems like there's a much higher point of view. So analyzing the point of view on a painting that's representational and recreates a space, it's very cool and very important. There's a little bit of a difference between this and a landscape. We have more of an opportunity to see the point of view of the artist. The interesting thing here is that the title of the painting is The Yellow Sofa, but then the actual feature or the different elements in the room, or the way the yellow sofa is dressed, is adding things in front of it. There's this amazing coffee table that it's so big compared to the sofa, and it gives us a sense of perspective. We personally think that she painted this from life because of this sort of like discombobulated composition, but the way she played with the size of the objects that are closer to the viewer. You can see the other chairs. They look like dining room chairs, framing the sofa and also framing the coffee table. Much smaller, so much smaller than the coffee table. And then there's the couch filled with pillows on the back. You really don't see exactly how the couch is grounded on the floor, which makes it a really dynamic composition. We love the fact that she is not interested in making this extremely realistic or mimicking the actual architectural perspective. Also interesting is the fact that the yellow couch here, in contrast to the slide before, it's quite elevated. So you can see that there's a little bit of room, and it looks like that's the bottom of a mirror. So she incorporates other furniture. So it's up to us to decide what kind of creative direction we want to take with our own couches. And I think it's important to understand that we have many options. There is creativity involved in deciding how we're going to incorporate this subject, our own couch, and represent it visually on a painting. So think about what you want to do with it. Do you want to have a front view of the couch? Do you want to feature everything on it? Do you want to... is it important for you to anchor the piece of furniture in the room? Do you have something in the back that it's meaningful and you want to feature? Just think of the elements on your painting that may enhance or dress the couch, or perhaps you just want to strip the entire room and then just paint the couch a la Francis Bacon, almost without any indication of walls or corners. So we're just going to move forward, and I think those were the historical references, but now we're going to bring some... I think that's it. Yeah, some modern examples of people that actually, contemporary artists that have used the subject of the couch, or as the subject of the painting. So this is a painting by a contemporary artist. His name is George Nick. The title of this painting is Follow And oh, I'm so sorry. No, what am I talking about? The painter's name is George Nick. This is untitled, parenthesis, or sofa in parenthesis. So I never understood this kind of combination. I'm sorry. Why do you want to put untitled and then you put a word that means something? Yeah, anyhow, let's not just get into that territory, obviously, but this doesn't make sense. It was painted in 2017. And we brought this painting as an example, stylistic example of what we're going to do this week, painting our own couches. Just because we thought it would be interesting to find a style that it's not excessively representational. This is very realistic, but if you look at the table lamp or the floor or even the walls, it doesn't have a lot of work. So the brushstrokes are very loose, and there's a sense of underdeveloped stages that works really well. Also, it's not a very saturated palette-wise. Things are not very saturated. We love the fact that there is such great harmony between this almost grisaille like couch and then the walls of the room, including the lampshade, and there's like a frame that has the same colors as the couch. So anything that has color is flowing underneath the composition with the hardwood floors and this dresser, and then there's the rug that it's diagonal. So it's a really cool perspective. It's a great point of view as well. The color palette is really muted or very measured, and also the style is very loose. It's not highly detailed. So that could be a good example compositionally and style wise. So we're just gonna bring another example, and we have 3 minutes left. So this is a painting by Liu Wei Jian, and it's titled My Sofa, painted in 2012. Different composition. Interesting here, it's the fact that the room doesn't have a lot of elements. There's something in front of the couch. It seems like it's a table. But what's really beautiful here is the monochromatic aspect of the couch and how the painter just added wrinkles and a very used pillow, not very used, or sort of like a pillow that it's not being fluffed, I guess. So there's almost like a anthropomorphic element here that makes the couch look like flesh. So that could be another example. What do you want the couch to look like? Just in perfect mint condition, or just as if someone was kind of like sitting on it? You can see the difference on the seats. On one seat has the imprint or the footprint of someone kind of like sitting on it, and the other one, it's fully formed. And talk about elements that may or may not make sense to a viewer. We really don't know exactly what is that piece, that brown piece. It looks like it's a blanket, but we don't know. It looks like there's something coming out of that pillow on the back. So don't worry about things making sense or not. This is not important. And I think we have a couple more, but we're just going to put... let's just put the ones we have. Oh, this is not really good. It's like an orange couch. But we love this image right here. It's not the full painting. There's a figure right here, but this is by a contemporary artist. And the name is Bruno Leydet, Canadian, born in 1968. The title of the piece is Impotence, or The Satin Sofa, painted last year, 2020. You cannot see the entire painting, but I'll just describe it briefly. There's a very melancholy filled figure sitting on the couch, not very comfortably, and then there are 2 feet on the bottom left, 2 barefoot. So there's a figure that's laying on the floor on the rug, and it's barefoot, and there's a painting or a photograph of a kangaroo on the corner. So we thought this was very interesting because it just kind of like brings together or weaves together. Again, imagine it without the figure, but it weaves together other elements. We sort of like always fall in love with paintings that have paintings inside of the paintings. So when we see a painting and that paints a painting inside, there's something that makes us tingle, I guess. So we wanted to bring this with a painting of a couch, and then there's an element, a painting of a kangaroo. So, all right. So this is it. We are going to paint our own couches. This will be a tribute to the most important piece of furniture in a home and what it represents. The title of the series is On the Couch because not only it's a way or a refuge or a place that in normal conditions it's inviting to conversations, but now it's a place that we use to sort of like get away, perhaps, and as a confessional also to ourselves. Sign up online. Very important announcement right now. We are going to Bruce's Beach this Saturday. In 2 days, we will be painting at Bruce's Beach. It's a very important, iconic, sacred place in the center of Manhattan Beach that was recently on the news because the City Council of Manhattan Beach voted unanimously to return this land to the original owners or to the descendants of the original owners, Willa and Charles Bruce. Willa and Charles Bruce bought a piece of land by the ocean in, I believe, 1902. I'm not sure. I need to learn the story or the history. Because they wanted, with the idea of creating a resort. By the way, Willa and Charles Bruce were African American. They were living in LA, and they wanted to acquire a piece of land with the idea of creating a resort for their community. You just can imagine that that was not accepted. People were outraged. People living in Manhattan Beach at the time. The KKK got involved. They started harassing the family. They started burning crosses. The city got involved. The city of Manhattan Beach, they passed ordinance after ordinance to make it really hard to access. They cordoned off the beach. They just made it impossible to park. And they just finally decided, I forgot the year, that I think it was 1919. I'm not sure. But they decided that they were going to take away the land in the name of, or using eminent domain. And they did. They took away the land. And their excuse was that they wanted to turn this land into public park. So because of what happened last year with George Floyd, I don't know exactly what, this is not new. The push to return this land to the original owners or the descendants of the original owners has been going on for a long time. For whatever reason, it just happened. It happened. The city council voted to return, to transfer the title back. You'll be amazed. We hope you come because it's incredible. It's incredible, and it's an opportunity to actually learn about the history of the city. You'll be amazed how ridiculous or, how odd that those 2 blocks, they're not developed. There's nothing. This Manhattan Beach is kind of like packed with homes, and then there's this kind of like empty spot. It's just really incredible. There are a couple of features right there. There is also, which is very interesting, we'll talk about it, remains of the racist past still. There's a plaque right there that instead of giving credit to the actual couple who bought the land, they give credit to a member of the city council at the time who they say was the one who actually made it possible for Willa and Charles to buy the land. And people were pissed because, what is this? They actually, instead of actually honoring the rightful owners, they bought it for $1,300 at the time. Instead of honoring the rightful owners of the 2 plots, they just gave credit to a person of a certain race for allowing it. So the plaque's still on. the plaque is still on. And also, I don't know at what point, but they decided to install two basketball thingies just because they wanted to, I guess, make their case stronger for a public land, a public park. But it's so ridiculous and it's so offensive when you see them because the land it's heavily sloped, so it just goes down from a high point of view all the way to the sand. And the basketball court, it's just, I don't know, maybe what, 8 feet wide. So it's kind of like a little step that you walk on. But if you would imagine playing basketball there and then just throwing the ball and the ball falls outside of the 8 feet thing, or a little bit wider, I don't know, it would just go down to the sand. So it's just not a practical thing. Luckily they removed the hoops. I don't know if it was because they actually understood that this is quite offensive or just because I don't even know. But anyhow, sorry for the little historical introduction, but please join us. Sign up online. The session is on our calendar, rooflesspainters.com. You're going to see a calendar that has all our sessions. Sign up for tomorrow. We're painting our couches. The title of the series is going to be On the Couch. And Saturday, we're going to be outside. We're going to provide snacks and drinks, and we're going to get together. It's 3 hours of painting. It doesn't matter if you've ever touched oil before or not, or if you've ever painted in your entire life or not. It'll be an opportunity to get together, paint from live. The view of the ocean is great, and there's some trees in the area on the actual block. So we can just decide what we want to paint, but mostly we want to feature, or we want to create a painting that encapsulates the idea that we were there, we talked about it, we learned about the history, and we can use this as a memory of this very important historical event that happened just a few weeks ago. All right, that's all. We're painting couches tomorrow. Please register online. Bye.